Hey folks, today I'm going to be changing the door actuator on the 2008 Toyota FJ Cruiser. I'm changing it because I've tried to open the door with the key fob and it's not working. It's not an electrical problem. I'm able to lock the door with the key and I've determined that it is the actuator. So let's get started. So for today's job we only need a few simple tools. The first one here, this is just a little helper for pulling off body panels. You can use it for both interior and exterior panels. Costs you a couple bucks at the auto parts store. A ratchet, an extender, a 10 millimeter socket, a T30 Torx, and then a flat bladed screwdriver, just small for getting into things. And then we'll need a medium sized Phillips head screwdriver. Optional. I always have my magnet with me because I always drop things and my hands are big enough that I can't get them into small places. It's an invaluable tool. And then a snack of some sort, usually sunflower seeds for me. All right, let's get started. All right, folks, before we get started here, since we're working with electrical, I'm going to disconnect the negative terminal of the battery. So now we've disconnected the negative terminal of the battery, and now, since it's the driver's side door actuator that's giving me difficulty, we're going to remove the door panel, and I'm going to show you how to do that very easily. You have a little panel right behind the door lever, and once we open that up, you'll see that there is a Phillips head screw that needs to be removed. The second item is this little pop-out clip. And then the third item is going to be right there, which is behind the handle. So just quickly here, I'm going to show you that's how easy it is to pop that clip off. I'm going to do the rest of them and I'll be right back. Right. So having removed the three fasteners, we now need to pull the door panel away from the door and breaking or releasing the clips that run along the bottom of the door panel. Now if we do this right, we're not going to break the clips because they are pretty forgiving, and I've had this door panel off a number of times. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the door handle and lift the door panel out of the track. So in order to do that, you need to reach down here, now I've already done this, and create a small gap between the door panel and the door. Now sometimes you might need to slip a screwdriver, or they actually make a tool that helps you remove door panels. Mine's pretty easy. I can just get my fingers in there and open it right up. And you'll see down there there's a hole where the clip goes in. I haven't broken it. And then what you do is you lift up on the door panel and it will come out of the window track right there. And I'll show it to you. And then I'm going to show you what's behind the door panel that you'll need to release. So there it is off the window. All right, so here we are. We've got the door panel pulled away from the door, and you'll see that I'm stuck on three things. One is right here, and that's the electrical connection that goes between the car and the window and the door lock electrical mechanisms. And we also have the door lock and the door pull mechanisms that are attached to our door panel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to release those, and it's very easy. This just has a clip, and you need to pull that away. So you'll pull it toward the door, and then these two here are just little ball sockets that you need to release. Okay, I'm going to do that. All right, I forgot that one of life's greatest pleasures is disconnecting electrical things in a car. So I figured I would show you this. On the underside of the door lock and door window panel, where you're going to disconnect the wiring harness, there's this little button right here. And if you press down on that little button, you're able to release the plug here. So just push down on that little piece right there, and you're able to release. Let's see if I can do that. Once you push down on that, you'll be able to release that plug. First, let me show you what the door actuator looks like. Okay, it's a somewhat large and chunky item, and it fits in your door like this. You'll actually see where it becomes your the latch so that you can close your door. And again, there's the plug, and it will fit right inside there like this. Now you're going to have to move some things out of the way, but I wanted you to see what that looked like. All right, now to begin the disassembly, we're going to use a 10mm socket to remove this bolt, and I won't bore you with that. And then over here on the side, we've got 3 Torx bolts that we have to remove, and we're going to use a number 30 Torx bolts. And it's just these 3 right here. It'll be very simple. I'll be back in a second. All right, so once we've removed those bolts, I'm now looking inside of the door. I've actually disconnected that rod from the door actuator, and it's very easy. All you need to do is let the door actuator slip down because it's now completely unfastened from the door panel. So you just let that go down, and the door actuator comes right out. All right, now what we need to do is we have these cables that control our door handle and our door lock that we need to remove from this door actuator and put on our new one. I'll do that right now. I have the actuator that I've removed, and I have the actuator that I'm going to install. I actually installed this actuator not too long ago, but unfortunately the supplier did not send an electrical connection, which ensures that it won't work. So I've already been through this process one time. Now what we need to do is we need to remove the cover here, because we're going to take these 2 cables out and we're going to transfer those over to our new actuator. All right, to make this easy on myself, I've loosened this up just a little bit, but I do want to show you the orientation. You can see that the lid to the area where the cables connect is really just held in by a couple of clips, and so you can just release the clips and then this will pop right open. And what you have here is you just disconnect these 2, and then this is a ball and socket. It's a little different, you know, because it's got a little side area there that you've got to work through. And then this one is a little bit different as well. It's just a little crooked. You can probably see it right in there. Just a little crooked piece of metal that you've got to kind of work your way out. Sorry about that. And now that you have your 2 pieces, and now we're going to go and do the installation on this, just the reverse of what we just did. All right, you can see that I've installed the 2 cables. There's really only one way to do it. This one's got the ball and socket, and this one just has the little bent wire. You just close that back up again, and we're ready to go install this in our FJ. All right, so now we're going to reinstall the actuator. A couple of things here. You'll notice inside we've got our door rod, our door handle rod right there, and we also have our window track right here. Okay. Now when I take the actuator, I'm going to slip it into the door in the proper orientation, which is this way right there. Okay, so I'm going to slip it into the door. I'm going to drop it down. I'm going to go up against the door edge so I get behind the window frame. I'm going to come up and I'm going to insert that handle rod right through the yellow piece right there. So again, go in through here, down, underneath the window rod, up, and you make sure that it's in the right position. And then as you're doing that, you're going to insert the door rod, the handle rod rather, in through the yellow piece on the back of the actuator. All right, I'll come back in just a second. All right, so I've reinstalled our door actuator. If you look through here, and I'll move the window frame out of the way, you can see that I've got the handle rod down through the yellow piece there. I've also redone the Torx bolts, and now what's left to do is we just have to plug her in, and we have to take the window frame that we took off, and we have to use our bolt and bolt it back in. I'll do that, and I'll be back in a second. So we are reinstalling the door panel, and just wanted to show you that we plug the panel back in that's got the windows and the door lock on it. And then when we come up here, this is the way that the cables sit when they come out of the door actuator. I've made this mistake before where I've connected them the wrong way. Remember that white goes on top and green goes on the bottom. White on top, green on the bottom. If you don't do that, you're going to be inside your car trying to figure out how to take your door panel off. So I'm going to finish that up and end the video. All right, so I've attached the ground back to the battery. Close up the hood, and now we're going to test and see if our door actuator is working. First we'll lock it. Sounds good. Yep. And then unlock it. So we're all set. See you on the next video.